What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving supervised video in the Cybertruck. We are on version 12.5.5, and I want to turn right here, but the nav wants us to go left, so let me see. Yeah, I'm going to have to just pull us out of here because this is the route that I want FSD to take. And we're going to have a few back roads, off-highway things that we're going to do, and then we're going to hop onto the highway with FSD 12.5.5, and we want to focus in this video mostly on the highway aspect because this is the first FSD that we've had the end-to-end neural net, which was kind of like the feature of version 12 in our cars on the highway. The neural net version 12 stuff has been all off highway up until Cybertruck. So as of the making of this video, Model S, X3, and Y are still using version 11 on highways. This is the first time we're able to kind of see what it can do on the highway, and we'll have 20-ish or so miles of highway driving to kind of evaluate it. Now, I've already driven it a little bit here and there, and so far I gotta say I am pleased with its performance. I haven't seen anything too weird. I've only had it do even a few lane changes. It doesn't seem to want to do too many lane changes. But the thing I'm mostly pleased with on the highway driving is my older complaints that I've talked about a million times now of the speed control, where the car is basically choosing, what speed to go on in certain situations. The speed, I don't know why it's not happy with my eyes here. Let me take my sunglasses off. The speed control on version 12 for me has just not been good. And so far, the highway neural net version 12 stuff has been good. We've been kind of flowing with traffic. We've been going, around the speed limit, plus or minus a couple miles per hour here and there. So it's felt really good. This drive, we're going to do lots of highway. We'll see if we get dips in speed. I've seen this weird issue in version 12 where you get like speed decay, where you're, let's say I turn on FSD on a 55 mile per hour road. I'm going 60. I turn it on. It'll drop the speed a little bit, no big deal, whatever. Somewhere around the speed limit is fine, but the speed will just keep dropping and keep dropping and keep dropping. And I've seen on a straight road, no bends or anything, where a 55 mile per hour speed limit sign shown on the display is degrading all the way down. The speed will go down to like 35 miles an hour, which obviously in a 55 is not appropriate. So we're going to start off here with this roundabout. Wow, does the the visuals look good on this huge display. Of course, I have to look at the oncoming traffic here. We could take this if you want to go. It's being a little timid, but it does get through there. Man. I really hope we can get the screen recording going in this, but for now, I'm doing my best with editing magic to kind of make the display look good for you. Please give me feedback so I can keep improving that. But anyway, we are off highway right now. We're going to transition over to the highway. Let me just double check that it's going to do what I want here as I look at the road. So we do have my driver monitoring. So we're going to switch over to the highway there. Go through some construction, go through some traffic, and see how FSD handles all of that. But yeah, we want to focus on the highway. Before we get there, this speed limit end sign right here has always been a problem. So you can see we're already going 42. The speed limit right now is 55 miles per hour. The car shows 35, but because of this Automax, because of the context of the other vehicles, Cybertruck can go a bit faster. I have had it get all the way up to 55, but usually it'll hang out somewhere around this speed. We've got some slower people in front of us, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. I will try to let the car do as much as possible, at least safely, and we'll see how it handles it. So let's let it. That guy just opened his door. Let's let full self-driving hopefully take me home with no interventions, but I don't think that's going to be the case because it's needed help in several drives so far. This video is brought to you by Joa, maker of premium Tesla and vehicle accessories. Claim your discount by using the link in the description below. Wow, so that was quite a strange scenario. I've never gone quite that slow on this road. The human in front of us wanted to go like 33 the whole time. There's a huge line of cars behind me. The guy behind me kept kind of doing this like he wanted to pass, but of course you can only pass if there's one car in front of you. So I think that helped FSD out, but I've had it do this road appropriately. So you can see how those two humans just drove through. They didn't stop at all. We're going to make our legal 0 mile per hour stop, which I'm fine with, and then we will slide through here. That is fine. It, of course, has to do those things legally. I'm all good with that, but, you can see how humans do it. Now we'll have an unprotected left here, and it seems, yep, we got one human doing the same thing. There is no traffic to contend with, so we should just glide right through here, and I wonder if we're going to get any weird steering. No, that was perfect. So the really main consistent issue I'm seeing, which I would guess happens like 20 to 30% of the time, somewhere in there. So not super common, but common enough I've seen it multiple times, is that the Cybertruck is either over or understeering in left turns, right turns, doesn't seem to really matter. Or either steers too much or not enough for those turns, and it's making things weird. So hopefully a quick update can fix that, but an easy correction. And then we'll see. I may hit the accelerator here because I just don't want to be in people's way. Again, this is a 55 mile per hour road, and FSD just doesn't know that, and I have no reason. I mean, we can see it's not doing it correctly, so I'll give it an intervention here. I'll get it up to 55-ish, and then I will let off right there, so I'm no longer pressing the accelerator, and you can see it just wants to immediately slow back down. So I may just hold the accelerator here for a bit. Let's see if we can get it doing it by itself, let off, and yeah, it's hitting the brakes too hard. So I'm actually gonna report that with the little report button. Please move that directly next to the percent. But yeah, so for the rest of this road, I'll be hitting the accelerator, making sure we go the speed limit. Getting an alarm for those cyclists. I had let off the accelerator. They were cycling towards us. It looked like, yeah, I wasn't sure they were gonna stop. I was ready to hit the brake, but they did stop as they were supposed to. So pretty difficult left turn here. So the car in front of us gets to go no problem. And as you can see, it's pretty hard to see to the right. We have one car, nobody's to the left. And if you go fast, you can do it. Okay, very nicely handled. A little more acceleration would be nice. Again, this is another fast road. It's marked 50, but people usually go about 60. But yeah, handled really well. Older versions of FSD, like, 6 months or a year or more ago, just would always fall on their face there. They would kind of try to go and just keep messing up. But FSD has been able to do that left turn for a long time, but it's still one of those where it's like you really gotta be looking both ways 100 times because people are flying. Nicely handled there, no braking. He pulled out pretty slow. This guy as well, we're definitely gonna need to brake for him. But the braking is smooth enough. You can see we're getting a little, I mean, we kept a good distance. We didn't get too close, but we also didn't hit the brakes too hard. All right, so going around those bends nicely, and then this is the part of the video I really want to focus on, is getting onto the highway here. So we have the guy in front of us going over the lines a lot, but I don't know, with the boat, maybe that's just the way it goes. So we'll nicely move on to the highway here. Again, a little more speed would be appreciated, but it feels all right. And there we go, picking up nicely here. And I will give you some opinions on that last road, speed control wise. So first of all, personal preference, I thought it was great. We were going 5 over. It was really nice. People, like I said, usually go faster than that. And the guy behind me was on my butt like the entire time, even though we were going 5 over. But I don't really care about that. And then just from the kind of all over perspective, I think 10% more is decently acceptable for like a robotaxi kind of thing. So that's the guy that was behind us the whole time, staying close to us. From a robotaxi kind of perspective thing, I think within 10% is probably pretty acceptable. So nice to see that, and it was all very smooth. So we're on the highway here. It still says auto max there, which means the car is choosing its top max speed. Now, I don't know what that is, but we can actually find out. So if I go into autopilot here, I'm going to turn off automatic speed offset, and that will show us, well, now it changed it to 70 and now 50. Don't do that. Hopefully I didn't mess it up doing that. I'm definitely not going to count that as an intervention because that all happened exactly as I changed that. That's disappointing. So in older versions, let me try one more time here. Yeah, so you could see it for a second. In older versions, when you would turn off the auto max speed, it would keep whatever max speed is kind of secretly behind the scenes there. And for 1 second, you could see that it said 75 miles per hour. Wow, what is with this speed? This is totally wrong. And so it has a max speed, or did in that moment, of 75 miles per hour. Now let's pass this speed limit sign and see. So that says 70, and it shows 70 on here. So I'm not sure if the cameras are picking up something wrong or what's going on with that. But it has some kind of max in the background. We can't see what it is. If you turn that ability off, you can then set the max. But if the car would like to go slower than whatever max the human sets, it can still do that. So that's kind of my annoyance with this new speed control, is that in version 11 and before, I could say, I want you to go 60. And as long as it was safe or not a huge bend in the road or something, the car's going to try to go whatever speed I told it. Now, I can only cap it. I can only say, don't go faster than this, but I can't say, don't go slower than this, etc. So that may be coming in an update. We'll see. So as of now, Cybertruck is going to be just chilling in the right lane here, which I don't really care. It's going to be hard. I really actually don't want it to change lanes because we're stopped and traffic in the lane next to us is flying. So I may intervene if we try to do a lane change here, but so we've been sitting here a long time. I will mention autopilot. The autopilot menu in the Cybertruck does not have the chill, assertive, and average settings, so I cannot choose between those. I think the release note said they're coming in a future update, but it wasn't completely clear. And so we have no idea what the profile is. We may be locked in a chill profile, which would mean that the Cybertruck isn't really going to be changing lanes on the highway unless it needs to take an exit or something. And as you can see, it's been sitting here in this right lane for a long time, which, I don't know, I'm kind of indifferent. When FSD is doing everything, I don't really care as much. When I'm driving, I'm like, going all over the place trying to get around this stuff. But yeah, so that's the behavior we have as of now. And then two other things I've noticed. I did lose attention monitoring again for a second, but I took my head off. It might have been that. The other thing, holy moly, is this display so smooth. The frame rate on this is so much higher than on our Model Y. Just like looking at this FSD animation, it's the first time we've been able to see this on such a huge screen, because S and X have it on their front driver display, and that's of course much smaller. And this is significantly bigger than the 3 and Y display, and guarantee it has a higher frame rate than those displays, and it just looks incredible. There's no way I can really capture that for you and show you in a YouTube video, but you just got to take my word for it. In person, the way that these, geez, it just looks really good. The way everything is moving on there, how smooth everything is, it is just awesome. So we'll let Cybertruck continue to handle this kind of traffic jam. Backup so far feels very comfortable. Nothing bad happening here. If we don't get a lane change, I may force one just so we can at least experience that, and then let the truck have to change lanes back for our exit. But again, I will attempt to not really intervene unless I have to. Well, for testing, this has been great. For enjoying my life, this has been awful. I don't know what is going on. I have not seen this backed up in a very, very long time. So I'll do a quick check-in with you. I did lose attention monitoring a couple of times, but it's when I was looking over at the screen. So it seems when you have your sunglasses on, which I do, if you're looking away, the car's like, well, you might not be paying attention here. We're not going to allow you to go hands-free anymore. Take the sunglasses off. Maybe I could have left them on. I didn't try. It turns it back on almost immediately, and then I can continue just kind of relaxing here. I am so thankful, I'll say, to have FSD just in time for this. This is like one of the worst experiences I've had on this road, maybe ever. So it's pretty crazy, but the FSD report it's pretty much perfect the whole time. There's not much we can do. It's just stop and go traffic. And it's just so funny because the speed's really low. There's nothing too complex, but people want to see all the different scenarios. And one of the things people ask for is like, oh, we need more traffic. We need more congestion. Here it is. This is what you get. And it's just not all that exciting because you're just going in a straight line. You're going very slow, just waiting for everyone to get out of the way. So this is pretty much what we got here. So I'm going to let Cybertruck keep doing its thing. It hasn't needed any help on the highway yet. It's doing an excellent job with stopping gently, not getting too close to the person in front of us, not stopping harshly. Takeoffs are good. Everything about the highway experience so far has been really nice. Like I said earlier, if we don't get a lane change that the Cybertruck does by itself, I'll probably just do one so we can at least experience it. But as of now, it doesn't seem like Cybertruck really wants to change lanes. And maybe we're finally speeding up just a little bit here. right, we finally got out of the congestion. We need FSD to speed up here. It does still have the 60 speed limit from the construction zone, which is technically correct, but we're leaving the construction, so we'll have a 70 any minute here. There is plenty of room in front of and behind us, so I'm not too worried about the speed, but this may be a good time to use our manual lane change here just to spice it up a little bit. We've just been in the same lane this whole time, which, you know what, FSD should be boring. That's kind of the point. That's kind of the goal. So I'm definitely not complaining about the performance here. It's performing really nicely. It did now get up to speed. It still has that 60 locked in there, which is, you know, technically correct, again, because that was the last sign we saw. There are still orange barrels, although I'm pretty sure we're out of the construction here. Should any second be getting a 70 sign. And actually we're going 66, so it is keeping up with traffic nicely. It's not going too crazy fast. It's not catching up to anybody, but it sees that everyone's kind of passing us and doing that. So I do love the ability to keep up with traffic. Again, if you don't like that, you can turn off this auto max ability and you can set a max. You can say, do not go above the speed limit. That's totally up to you. It's more the slower side that, you know, is kind of annoying for me. But, yeah, we'll see. I'm going to give it another minute here, and I'll throw a lane change in there and see how it does. All right, it's probably a good time. We got a lot of cars to our left, so we'll have to kind of slot in there. And I did want to move over for this guy, but the pickup truck didn't let me in. As soon as he saw my turn signal, he closed the gap to kind of tell me, like, no, you're not allowed to get over. What are you going to do? That's pretty much what people always do. We'll leave the turn signal on. You can see we have some nice red cars on the display there showing us, nope, we can't move over because these vehicles are in our way. And as soon as we have room, we do move over. Really smooth, really nice lane change. We didn't get any weird jerky behavior where I kind of tried to do it, then couldn't, and, you know, just weird stuff we've seen in the past. Kind of looking for any of that to creep back in, and I'm not seeing it. So that's really nice. It has the correct 70 mile per hour speed limit here. And I'm going to try to just leave it. We should move out of the passing lane right about now. I don't know what the Cybertruck's going to do. I do not want to stay in people's way, but I'll give it a minute to see if it will move over for us. So that's about all I'm going to allow. Oh, there it goes. Hey, we had one pass on the right, and the guy behind us in the left lane also moved over to the right like he was going to pass us. And the Cybertruck is moving over. Here again, I'd be moving over, but I'll let FSD do its thing, and we can kind of just analyze its behavior and see how it does. And there you go. Okay. So again, normally we'd get a message that says changing lanes to away from slower traffic, or I can't remember the exact message, but that's what you get. Now we need a really nice, assertive change back, like immediately. Now another part of this equation is when I do a lane change, we just had a tiny little touch of the brakes there. You probably couldn't even see it in the video. The other part of that equation is when I instigate a lane change, FSD will kind of stick with that decision for a little bit of time since I did it. But yeah, we definitely 100% should be moving over by now. And this is kind of your last chance. 3, 2, 1. Yep, I'm going to do that to get out of the way. We got a line of cars coming up, and I don't want to be in people's way. So that one I'm counting as an intervention 100%. Need a little better moving into the right lane behavior, but overall, not terrible. All right, and approaching our exit, a nice early turn signal. You love that version 12 improvement. I definitely do. Turn signals used to be way too late, and now they are, sometimes they're a little too early, to be honest, but they are friggin' awesome now compared to what they used to be. So there's the highway. We have a total of 26 miles, and I pressed the accelerator one time off highway before we got on the highway, and I did one lane change on highway. So that's all I've done in 26 miles, which I would say is pretty good. I understand why I needed the accelerator press, and, you know, some people would say you didn't really need it, but I think it's pretty important to not be going, you know, 20 under the speed limit. But we'll continue this drive. You know, there's a little more to do here. So we can turn right on red right here. Very nice. And let Cybertruck kind of finish this up for us. But let me talk about the highway for a second since we just finished that up. Good stop for this red light. Now we need to move over because this lane ends. But the highway felt really good. I am very happy with everything I experienced so far. The main thing, as you saw, we need to move out of the passing lane pretty much immediately as soon as, if there's people behind us especially, but as soon as it's kind of available and those cars in the right lane are not going to slow us down, we should be moving away for sure. Other than that, everything felt so excellent. FSD used to kind of struggle in those stop and go, backup traffic scenarios. Like, it would be hard for it to stop appropriately and then start going again at those low, like, between 0 and 5 miles per hour kind of stop and goes. So we need to change the left here. But yeah, highway felt really, really good. Besides, we need to get out of the left lane. So we should have already thrown on a turn signal here to the left to show our intent. We're not going to do it, so I may need to take over here. And this is a right turn only lane at this point, coming up with a solid white line. So I'm going to hit report just to get that. Oh man, that report button is in such a stupid spot. Okay, well, there you go. At least we did it to a new Model 3. Yeah, I don't know. Technically wrong. I've seen people do it every day. People are doing that same thing. I don't hate it that much, but yes, it was technically the incorrect maneuver. We should have moved over earlier, but overall, we skipped a lot of traffic and still safely got to where we needed to be, so I'll take it. Here's another example. I'm very happy with what we're seeing out of the speed here. FSD used to go way too slow on this road. Again, speed limit 55. People will drive up to 70 on this road. I do not expect FSD to drive that fast, but I also don't want it driving 45, which is, something I've experienced in the past on this road. Now we need to move over. We have less than half a mile to make our turn. Okay, good job. And on this left turn, this is a pretty tough one. So this is where you almost need like a question mark maneuver, kind of like, so this is not our turn. So I actually have to take over there because that's incorrect. That is not our turn. So we'll do this here. So there's disengagement for you. We almost need like a question mark like you need kind of on Chuck's turn where you go kind of like this to properly position yourself here. Let's see how Cybertruck does. So, oh yeah, wow, positioning is very nice there actually. And we have lots of high-speed cross traffic. So we got these 3 cars, and if you floor it, you're good to go. Nope, and so it's going to wait here for this next pocket, which looks like we have actually another chance here. So this is a pretty tough one, and before version 12, FSD pretty much couldn't do this. I showed it for a long time, and I basically gave up because it sucked so bad at it. And look at that, as soon as that ambulance is out of the way, boom, really nice. Acceleration is not bad, in my opinion. Again, cross traffic's coming at like 60 miles an hour. Acceleration could be a bit harder there to get us out of that road, because if someone's flying up, you may not, see them because they're going so fast. But yeah, I mean, very nice. Version 12 has been able to do that very nicely for a while now. So the rest of this is just straight, pretty much. So I'll end it there. Here's the stats of the drive. We're at 29 miles. Overall, very nice for the very first FSD update on Cybertruck. Still, I'm experiencing some issues that we actually didn't see in this video, so that's always nice. But overall, so like you can see here, 49 and 55 is unacceptable in my opinion. But yeah, there's your drive, 29 miles, 2 interventions, and a disengagement. So you will see me and FSD on Cybertruck in the next video.